What's good, YouTube? Team Zero playing here. Back doing another video. It's been a very long time since I've done a video. Luckily, right now I'm going to do one on one of the ban list. We just got our new ban list for upcoming January. I'm going to kind of go through what got hit and what didn't get hit. I'm just going to go through. You can't really see the screen, so you just kind of have to follow along with me. As far as the cards getting banned, there's no monsters. One couple of spells, or one spell and a couple of traps. One spell that was really interesting to me was Dragon Ravine. It kind of killed off Dragonities and then hit dragons at the same time, and I'm really glad that Ravine was the card that got hit, and they chose to hit. Return and Sixth Sense, we knew about these. It needed to go. Return was a game changer by itself. It refuels your graveyard. It makes it to where the dragon players have a third option to use their dragons to keep exceeding or synchroing, or just use them as beast sticks when they had them under skill drain. Sixth Sense, I'm not going to talk about that. One of the most interesting cards that actually got hit, that needed to get hit, or I don't know if it needed to get hit, but it was about time it did, was Sixth Sense, or not Sixth Sense, Self-Destruct button. I used to play the deck. Not one of my glory moments, guys, but it's just one of those decks that it makes it to where you play with yourself, I guess. Like, you just don't, it has no interaction to it, and it's a horrible card design. Cards that were put to 1, as you know, all the big dragons, Blaster, Redox, Tempest, and Tidal. Debris went to 1. I am iffy about the Debris, but I understand where they're coming from. They're trying to hit dragons. They're trying to make sure nobody's going to play it. So, but I've kind of felt like with the plant support, they're trying to make it to where we don't get the whole tour guide plants back. We're not trying to get debris plants or whatever you want to call them. They're trying to make sure that doesn't come back because they want the generic plant type. So I see where they hit the debris. A card that was actually banned and it came to 1 was my Magician of Faith. I actually agree with this one. When people were saying they wanted Dark Magician of Chaos to come back, Democ, I wasn't agreeing to that because we still have Call of the Haunted at 3. So I mean, you gotta weigh your options. Do you want a format to where Democ and Call of the Haunted are still there, or do you want a Magician of Faith? I'd stick with the Magician of Faith in my opinion. As you know, Redox, Tempest, Tidal, Thunder King. I really wish would have went to 2. But I still understand how Konami's still trying to get the money from Mistake, and they're still trying to promote it. They're trying to keep it to where you don't have a Knights. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Other cards. Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. I'm fully agree with that. Final Countdown. Still agree with it. Sacred Swords of 7 stars. I agree with it too. Spellbook of Fate. This card should have gotten hit last format, and I think it took them this format to figure out that spellbooks need to get hit outside of Judgment. So they hit the one card I wanted them to, was Fate. I wanted them to hit either Fate or Little Blue Boy. Secrets is no problem, but Little Blue Boy and Fate, go right ahead, because Fate, no, not Fate, Little Blue Boy it's still like Stratos, except Stratos has the ability to do the Heavy Storm. Huh. Anyways, none of the traps got moved, so you still have your own 1 Bottomless, 1 Compulse, 1 Eradicator, 1 Macro. I think the only card off that 1 list that should have went to 2, in my personal opinion, was Transmigration or Soul Drain. Either one would have been perfectly fine. Transmigration could come to 2, but I don't see it just making the jump. It's a good card that you need for side decking type purposes, but I think they're just going to stick with 1. Cards that went from 1 to 2, or even 3 to 2. But it's not in this situation. Chaos Sorcerer and Longfire are the only 2. I actually called the Longfire because I knew the plant support was coming back, and I didn't think they were going to give us the second Dandelion, so I figured they were going to do something with Longfire. And I surely to God know they weren't going to bring Glowable back. Man, I wish they would have brought Glowable back. Anyways, Longfire to 2 is perfectly fine. Had the plant support come back. I'm a big plant player. I particularly don't know if I'll play it. I'm just going to kind of see how the format flows. I might stick with Bujins. I might stick with Constellars. Constellars didn't get hit, except they actually gained a Tinky and M7, which you'll see in a minute. Chaos Sorcerer gives the Light Swarm type engine a little boost. any Twilight deck, zombies, that type stuff. It just gives it that second boost. Chaos Sorcerer's been everywhere on the list, I believe, except Banned. Not 100% sure, but it just moves around the list. It'll never find its home, is what I like to call it. Lastly, the cards that are no longer on the list: Christia, Mizuki, Plague Spreader, TG Striker, Tour Guide, M7, and Tinky. I don't think we were ready for 3 Christias, in my opinion. We still have 3 Call the Haunted. I personally believe if we got rid of Call the Haunted and put it to maybe 2 or 1, we are ready for 3 Christias. Maybe. But with Call the Haunted being at 3, it's like, oh, look, I can bring Christia back 3 different times if y'all want me to. That's just it. Mizuki and Plague, give the zombie their support. Let them try to come back. TG Striker, that card doesn't really matter. Tour Guide. I never thought this card would come back so soon back to 3. But at the same time, it's just like, it could happen. We've got Veilers. We've got Skill Drain. We've got cards to stop Tour Guides now. Yes, back then we did too. But now we've got so many options to make rank 3s that it's no longer a big deal. Unlike it was when Tour Guide first came out, where that was the only card you could use to bring out a level 3. It was just like an instant rank 3 play. Now we've got like other cards to do that. And Tour Guide was really big for wind-ups too. So you got to remember the whole wind-up loop situation when it first went back to 2. M7, it was limited down to back to 3. And they were just doing it to stop the Gishki. Now the more road decks will be willing to play 2 or 3 copies, but Constellars, you don't really need to play 3 or even 2. Not saying anything bad about not running multiple copies of M7, but it's just not necessary in Constellars. More decks like Heretics, Frogs could even hop on the Constellar M7 bandwagon if they wanted to. It's just one of those things. And then Tinky. What can I say about Tinky? I believe that they're trying to give Fire Fist another shot for their money. I don't know if anybody could tell by this list, Mermails didn't get hit. They're trying to bring us back to the format that Fire Fist and Mermails were one of the top 2 decks, which I believe was a year ago, back when we had YCS Austin. This was before Hidden Arsenal 7 came out, and I believe we had Abyss Rising was coming out. So, hint, hint, Mermail pricing probably just skyrocketed. Fire Fist, Wolf Barks went up to 50s. Ulti Tinkies went to 70, so keep your eyes on them. If you see them at a low price, snag them, because I'll be going after them myself. That's pretty much it for the list. The only other cards I would think that I would like to see come back or get hit, I would actually like to see a format where we have 3D prisons. I don't believe I was ever in the game when we had 3D prisons. I think we've always had them at 2. I honestly think that either Bottomless Compulse or TT could have went to 2 this format. I don't think any of them were too game-changing, in my opinion. I mean, I've had comments saying that Tengu could have went to 3. Now, I'm just like, hold your horses. Let's don't go straight Tengu plant format again. I've also had people tell me that Zenmaity could have came back, and I don't believe Zenmaity's ready to come back yet because wind-ups are still a thing. Now, not in the competitive scene, I should say, but wind-ups are still a deck that to be reckoned with once somebody breaks the meta. But without that being said, just we have 3 months without dragons. For all we know, a new archetype like Boojans could come up and steal the spotlight from us. That's it for the video. Like I said, leave a comment below. Anything that I've said you want to defend your case on why this shouldn't be moved or anything like that, or why you agree or disagree with the list, leave a comment below. I'm not going to comment to anybody. Just bash me over the head thinking that I'm wrong because I'm wrong. But logically, if you think I'm wrong, I'll actually try to talk to you about that. I'm not going to deal with people who just want to be retards, in my opinion. like I said, I'm going to try to get back into making more videos. I've been busy doing going to regionals and type stuff. I've actually been playing a lot more now. Went to Norcross. I did fairly decent. I went 4-2-2. Yeah, weird rating. I had a frog matchup that lasted 37 minutes, but that's besides the point. And there was no slow playing involved. We went through our decks like thin out and thin in because I kept stalling with Scrap Iron Scarecrow. But I'm gonna try to get more dual videos in. If not on, if not if with my camera on person, I'll probably do some on DN or Def Pro. But like I said, I just got done with school for my first semester of college. I'm going to try to get back into going to YCS. I plan on attending YCS Atlanta and going to ARG Nashville, one of the ARG circuits. So keep looking for me. I'll be glad to try to do some deck profiles if y'all recognize me. But other than that, guys, that's it.